year, learning some great principles to help them make good decisions in our DARE classes. And I want to turn it over to Tammy Silvers to start our program.
Good morning, class.
Good morning.
Kinda. Well, I know you have done such a good job these last 11 weeks. You've been working hard to complete the DARE program. I know we've had a lot of challenges in 2020, but we've overcome those. And that's why I want you to understand that you can overcome anything. And that's one of the things that we talk about in this class, and being able to make those good decisions. And you've come a long ways. You still got a long way to go, because these things that we talked about in class is stuff I want you to carry through for the rest of your life. And parents at home, we want to thank you for the good work that you do with them at home. I encourage you also as parents to ask you questions. Now, sometimes your parents are not going to agree. You're not going to agree with everything your parents say. You're going to say, Mom, why won't you let me go with this friend? Why won't you let me do that? But your parents are making those best decisions for you. They're trying to keep you away from the crowds you shouldn't be. You know, we talked about that in our class, how peer pressure and bullying and making those good decisions and your consequences. So they are looking ahead, trying to keep you safe. So sometimes you may not agree with your parents, but they're making those best decisions for you. And they're trying to make decisions that they think is going to help you throughout your life. So sit down and talk to them, keep that open communication with them, because, you know, we've also talked about that help network, who you go to for that help. So today you have completed this program, and we're going to graduate you from there. And before we do that, I'm going to call Sheriff Chitwood up. So thankfully, my job allows me to come into the schools all the time and teach. And I love that, because I'm one of the only people that can say, I make 400 or 500 new friends a year, because the schools I go into, I get to make friends with everybody in the school, and I love that. And I hope one day that maybe you, when you get older, will come to work with us and help us to make those differences as well. Before we get started, I'm going to call Sheriff Chitwood up and let him say a few words, and then we'll give out your diplomas. Sheriff?
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Good. I was thinking about that when I drove up from the office this morning, that I was going to start like that. Lieutenant Silvers already did it, so y'all are already excited and ready to go. So good job. Y'all may not know, but she may have told you that she's a graduate of Cohutta. Did y'all know that?
No.
Okay, she went to Cohutta. So it just shows you, my point being, you stay straight, you stay good, you follow the rules, abide by the law, and you can join and have a very professional job. No drugs, no stealing, no going to jail, and look what happens. Okay, so we have a good testimony here this morning. We got two other gentlemen here with us. This is Nathan Setters. He is a DARE instructor at some of the other schools. We have Kenneth Henderson. He's on our patrol division, but he is hopefully going to transfer and merge into our DARE program. So he wanted to come up and visit with you this morning to kind of see how we do these graduations. Very easily, he's going to be in this position for about a year. He's going to have to go to school, and he has to get training. Y'all have had training in the DARE program. We have to get training. Okay? We've got about 13 elementary schools in Whitfield County, and we have one of these DARE graduations at every single school. Okay? So I kind of say that to you, that you are joining a very large fraternity, a club, however you want to say it. Okay? So maybe about 1,000 students a year, roughly, in Whitfield County graduate from this program. So every upperclassman, 6th grade, 7th, 8th, on up to the high schools in the Coahulla district or Northwest for y'all here, has graduated. If they have stayed in the Whitfield County school system, they are DARE graduates. Okay? So you're joining what these upperclassmen have done. They've done the very same thing. We have a number of employees at the sheriff's office today that are DARE graduates because they kept the promise. They took the pledge and they stayed straight. This is the same program. It's an international program, but it's the same program that they teach in Atlanta, Chicago, Los Angeles, New York. International, as you know, Paris, London, Tokyo. It's worldwide. So that tells you how important this program is, okay? Just say no. When you get into high school, get to be young adults, you're going to be exposed and tempted with some of those vices you talked about in the classroom. Just walk away. Just say no. It's very simple. Okay, and sometimes I use the example, if I ask any of these adults here with us today, hey, let's go rob a bank today, I hope and I'm pretty sure they're going to say no. Okay? So that's kind of what the maturity is and the growth. We're just giving you the foundation. Sadly to say, we've had some DARE graduates that didn't keep the promise. Okay, and they kind of had some errors and mistakes, so they got into their young adulthood. But we've got a ton of graduates that still to this day, 5, 6, 10 years later, come up and they can tell you when we're at the fair, or they're at the mall, or they're getting groceries, they come up and they still got their DARE shirt on and they say, I still keep the promise. I'm drug free. And if we can get that, then we've done well. We've done our job, okay? So understand, you're not only making a promise to yourself, Lieutenant Silver, your teachers, the principal, your parents, but self is who you make a promise to. So keep that promise, okay? Grow up and be leaders in your community. Because we are drug free, or you wouldn't work in law enforcement. Okay? It can affect scholarships, it can affect college, it can affect military. Okay? So whatever your future may hold, understand you're laying the foundation right now. But y'all are bright, you're smart, you're going to keep the promise. You're going to do good. Okay? We do a graduation like this because it is important to do the graduation. It is a big deal. So we make a big deal out of it. Okay? We had to kind of adjust things as we have at all the schools because of the virus. Everybody's familiar with it. Didn't allow your parents to come. Like I say, the school had to make an adjustment, but y'all are the stars of the program today. This is for you. Okay? So just in a few minutes, you're going to line up. We'll put our mask on. I don't have mine on right now because we're 6 foot apart. Being careful. But you'll line up. We won't be able to shake hands with you. But I'll present you the certificate. Lieutenant Silvers is going to give you a little card. She's going to talk about that a little bit later. But this is a true, real graduation. And that's why we do it, because you have earned the right and you are a DARE graduate. Okay? So congratulations to you. We're very, very proud of you. Good job. Keep the promise. Okay? Is that a deal?
Yes, sir.
Good deal. Thank y'all for answering. Okay, well, with those little brief remarks, I think we're ready. All right. I think y'all are going to line up with your teachers and we'll do one class. Whenever we call the name, if y'all would be so kind, wait till we finish each class so we can hear the names of the student, give them the proper recognition, and at the end of the class, then we'll give that class a round of applause, and then we'll do the second class. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good deal. Thank y'all.
Ms. Wolf, we're going with yours first?
Do you want to go on with this one?
Yes.
Okay.
So Nelly, you guys can use your little line of questions. Get your response line. Talk about that out.
All right. Zanelli Alvarez. Angelique Asensio. Fisher Blankenship. Callie Calloway. Adeline Croninger. Hayden Crow. Skylar Kate Dalton. Kara Hopper. Lana Hughes. Logan Lawson. Trent Morgan. Colt Ridley. Edgar Rivera Martinez. Aaron Rogers. Elijah Torres. And Cooper Tyra. Carson Bettis. Jordan Blackwell. Jeb Bora. Luke Cooper. Weston Cordell. Stella Denton. Devin Especia. Coker Gladson. Alex Green. Maddie Matthews. Landon Patterson. Ayla Quarles. Skylar Sissom. Kaylee Tenney. Sophia Torres.
Okay, as all of you know, been in this program, 11 or 12 weeks, Lieutenant Silvers asked you to participate in an essay contest, right? Everybody did it. You wrote about what the DARE program has meant to you, the dangers of drugs and alcohol and bullying and gangs and all those vices that are out there on the street. You turned them in, the lieutenant, she brings them back to the sheriff's office. She does not grade them. okay? Because naturally, she knows, has a personal relationship with you. You are her students, just like your regular teacher, okay? So we'll bring them back. The other DARE instructors have read them before. I've read them, supervisors of various divisions, and we do our very, very best to attempt to select the best essay, okay? Let me stop right there and say every one of you are winners, okay? You got your shirt on, you got your certificate, every one of you are winners. But with this little essay contest, if that's what you want to call it, we do our very best, again, to select the very best essay that kind of encompasses what the DARE program is. Sometimes they get a little personal, okay? But we have made the attempt to select the DARE essay winner here at Cohutta, and we're going to ask that winner to come up and read their essay, okay? Few deep breaths there, wasn't it? That's okay. And so you don't know who it is, but we're going to announce it, come up and read it, everything. And I often say to the family members, whenever they are able to join us, you know, what the essay says, and the students here, y'all are the graduation. They don't come to hear me or us as officers to speak. They come to hear you. So with that little introduction, the winner at Cohutta here today is Cobra Gladstone.
Imagine being a kid at the park with your friends and your friends start passing around some of their mom's prescriptions. When your friend gets to you, will you take it? We have learned about peer pressure in DARE, and that is when someone tries to force you into doing something. In DARE, we learned how to solve these problems. The first thing you do is define the problem. Then you assess the problem, respond, and evaluate. You describe the problem, challenge, or opportunity, then you assess what are your choices. Respond is when you make a choice and use facts and information you have gathered. To evaluate and review your decisions, did you make the right choice? When we were in DARE, we made a pledge to stay drug and alcohol free. For example, what it can do to you if you don't follow this pledge. My friend's dad hurt his back when he was 12, and the doctor gave him some painkillers. He got addicted to the painkillers and overdosed. He had to go to rehab for a long time, and he is better today. You were peer pressured into doing something, and someone says something like, "I will not be your friend if you don't do it." Some people try to peer pressure others using threats. They will say something like, "Come on, do it," or "I won't be your friend if you don't." Here's an example of someone who is pressured into doing something. Jack's friend smokes and tells Jack, "If he smokes, I'll give you some money." Jack should stand up to peer pressure and use the DARE decision-making steps. People that do all this stuff, their lives get changed forever. For example, if you smoke, your lungs will get black. When someone drinks and drives, they're not only putting their lives at risk, they're putting other people's lives at risk too. Alcohol will make you do dumb things if you drink too much of it. In DARE, we learned how to solve these problems. The first thing you do is define the problem, assess the problem, respond, and evaluate. You describe the problem, challenge, or opportunity. Then you assess what are your choices. Respond is to make a choice and use facts and information you've gathered. To evaluate and review your decisions. Do you make the right choice? Now let me tell you a situation in our DARE group I'm going to solve it. Noah's mom started to work, so he will be alone. At first, he thought it was cool to stay by himself, but the first afternoon he felt uncomfortable. How could Noah communicate with his mom and tell how he feels to be alone? Define, which means describe the problem, challenge, or opportunity. He feels uncomfortable staying at home alone while his mom works. Assess, which is what are your choices. He can tell his mom he is scared or don't tell her at all. Respond, which is make a choice to use the facts and information you have gathered. He can ask if he can get a babysitter or ask if he can go to his grandparents while his mom is at work. Evaluate, which is where you review your decision. Did you make a good choice? I think I made the right decision for myself. Another thing I learned in there is you should never trust someone when they ask you if you want a piece of candy. Some people in this world are not like others, and some will give you medicine, not candy. There are a bunch of candies that look like medicine. You should never take more vitamins than the package says to take. Vitamins taste good, but they can hurt you if you take too many of them. These are the things we have learned in DARE. We have had a great time in the few years we have been in DARE. Thank you so much, Ms. Silvers.
Good job.
You with Darren. Now, we didn't get to bring Darren in class a lot this year because of the fact that things are going on, we can't pass it around, but this one is yours to keep, and you also get a Dare Gym bag. So these are yours.
Thank you.
You're
Good
welcome.
As I mentioned, you are so bright, smart. You really make it difficult for us to even attempt to select the best essay. We hope you're a good job, you read great and everything, but you see how good the essays are. But we had two other essays up here at Cohutta that we want to recognize, kind of a runner-up position. And we're going to identify those students, let you come up, and we've got two miniature Darrens. You know who Darren is, their mascot. But we've got two just as a token of appreciation. And I'd like to ask Colt Ridley. Good job.
You don't have to rank it.
Yeah, you don't have to. But I like the willingness, that's good. And the other runner-up, if we can call it that, is Hayden Crow. But again, good job. Congratulations to each and every one of you. It's always a pleasure for me to come up and be part of the graduation, but I'm going to turn it back over to Lieutenant Silvers and let her have some closing remarks, explain some stuff. But again, the most important thing, keep that promise to yourself. Okay? Congratulations to you. Good job.
Let me touch real quick on the essays. When they were being judged, someone brought them back to me. The winner was picked yesterday. And they brought those essays back to me, and they had been reading a lot of different schools. And the person that brought it back to me said, I can see a big difference between this school and some of the other schools. He said, this was a tough choice. And this was very good essays. And I can tell by the way they write and what they put in their essays and the way they structure them, that they are really learning a lot, and it goes off to them for the fact that they're really bright students. And I tell you that to let you know that people notice that when they're reading those essays and they're judging those essays, because they come to me and they say, what school is this? Because when I give them to them, they have no idea what school, they don't know anything about it, but the person that brought those back to me was very, very, very impressed, yes. Charlotte from and that goes off to you as students and to you as teachers, because they asked me, they said, you know, how do they get them to structure these essays like that? And I said, they just work with them, and they were really impressed with the essays and with the way y'all word that. So good job to you. And real quick, just a few closing remarks. When you come through, I gave you several things. You have some other things that I give your teacher. You have a bookmark and a bumper sticker that they will give you in class. Now, let me say this about the bumper sticker. Do not, okay, listen to me. Do not go home and put that on your parents' car. Because they are not gonna like that. If you want it put on their car, you have it. Miss Kendra's got them right there. And when you get that, if you, wherever you're gonna put that, you make sure it's okay with your parents first, because you put it on your wall at home, take that off, it's gonna take the paint off. So you make sure it's okay wherever you put that. Check with them first. Then you got your bookmarks. I want to encourage you to use those and read, because reading is food for your mind. And the more you read, the more you absorb, the more you know. The other two things I gave you was this little black card. This is your DARE graduate card. When you get back to your room or when you get home tonight, you can take a Sharpie and write your name in there. On the back is your ways to stay in charge. Now, I have high school students that come up to me and say, Ms. Silvers, I've still got my DARE graduate card. And they will pull it out of their wallet and show me they've still got their card. This is a reminder to you that you have made a promise to stay drug-free. You have joined this club of DARE graduates. It's a reminder to you that I'm in that group. And on the back is your ways to stay in charge. If you ever need those, all you gotta do is pull it out and say, oh yeah, I can use this way. The other thing you have is my business card. It has my office number on here, my email address on there. So if you need me, you can contact me. Just because you're graduating today doesn't mean you're not gonna see me again. I'm working with the teachers to possibly come in and teach some other things for you. And also know that even when you're in high school, middle school, you can contact me. If it's after hours, if you call that number and I'm not in the office, leave me a message. My messages come to my phone as well. Or if you have a true emergency and it's after hours and you can't get me, you call that 1233 number and tell them you're a DARE graduate and you need to speak with me immediately. They have other ways to get in touch with me. Know that I'm always there for you. I'm in that help network. Remember, your parents is in that network, your grandparents, your aunts and uncles, your cousins, your teachers. But I'm also in your help network. If you need me, call me. If I don't know the answer, we'll find out the answer. We'll figure out what to do. You have made this promise to be drug-free, to make good choices. Because one of the things we talked about in class, one bad choice, it only takes one, can change your entire life. It can change everything about your life. So you have to make that good choice now. Every single day, we have to think about the choices we make. Every day. And we have to make the best choices. Just like Coco was saying, we need to use that DARE decision-making model. We didn't go over that every week just to do it for those 11 weeks. We went over it every week to instill in you how you make those decisions, what steps you need to go through. So I want you to think about that. Anytime you're making a decision, go through those 4 steps and make that good decision for yourself. Now, what's the best decision for you may not be the best decision for me. So don't do things just because your friends are doing it or for someone you know is doing it. You have to make that best choice for you. Stand up for what you know is right. You know the difference between right and wrong. Stand up for what you know is right and make those good choices. I'm excited that you have finally graduated. I'm sad that I don't get to come back into class, but I am glad that you have made this journey, as we may call it, with us. And thank you for allowing me to come in and be part of that. I'd also like to thank the teachers, principals for that. I do have gifts for you, Ms. Bora and Ms. Henson. Have a speaker for both of you.
Does it come with a microphone?
Well, it doesn't come with a microphone, but I don't think y'all know that. And principal and assistant principals. I have a pen and pencil set for you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank y'all for letting me come into school and teach. If it wasn't for the school letting us come in, we couldn't do this. So I'm very glad, and, you know, Cohutta is really close to my heart, okay? And I love all of you. I'm here for all of you. If you ever need anything, you know to call me, okay? Thank you, and that concludes our DARE graduation.